This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at the GOT Bag Rolltop, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So this pack comes in at 31 liters, but because it is a roll top and we have some compression straps here on the side, you can cinch it down if you have less gear. But starting with the exterior materials here, we've got what GOT Bag calls ocean impact plastic, which is an rPET, and so they have a cleanup site in, I want to say, Indonesia, and they clean up a bunch of plastic from the ocean and other materials as well, and they take the plastic and they convert it into a 600D yarn, and then that yarn is woven into this material, which this bag was made out of. And something you can notice on the bottom too is that they are welded seams here on the bottom. There's no yarn in there or anything like that. So that does add a bit of extra water resistance, but overall this material is very water resistant and it's very durable, but it does pick up knocks pretty easily. Like you can see down here, we've got this white mark here, and just all around the pack, there are quite a few different, bumps and knocks. And I don't think that I was particularly rough with this bag. It really shows those knocks pretty easily, but it does have a little bit of nice patina if you're into that sort of thing. On the roll top here, we do have a Duraflex buckle, and the buckle works as you'd expect it to, but a lot of the time when I close this, like after I put my gear inside there and I pick it up, I don't know why, I don't like to use the handle here. I just grab this, and I don't know if that's just, I don't know why I do it, but I do it, and I was just messing with it earlier and it wasn't doing it when I have it, how I have it packed out right now, but if you grab it, a lot of the time this just comes like that. So if you were to, secure it like this, depending on where you grab it, it just pops up, and I don't know, I shouldn't grab it here, I know I shouldn't, but if you do that too, make sure you use this handle here. And we do have these two side compression straps on each side, so you have an upper and a lower on both sides. There's no water bottle pockets, but as you can see here, I kind of just rigged this up to where I looped my top of my water bottle through here and then cinched this down on this one. And I was actually able to, I have a bigger one of these. This is a 32 ounce Nalgene. I think I have I want to say 48 ounce Nalgene. I was able to do that with that one as well. And it really didn't feel super like it was going to fall or anything like that. And these straps were able to hold up as well. So very happy with these compression straps, and very happy with the buckle, but sometimes this does come loose when you don't want it to. So moving on to the harness system here, we've got quite a bit of padding on the back panel. It's very rigid, it's very structured, and we do have obviously your laptop goes on the back panel on the inside here, so it's nice to have that for a bit of added protection. And we also do have these air channels here, which are pretty good at like regulating airflow, and we have the mesh as well on top, which is good to keep air moving. So even though this bag is very large, it is pretty cool especially for a size, and considering it is an all black backpack. And then as you can see here, we do have this little luggage pass through. Very small luggage pass through, but I kind of like that it's small and out of the way when you're not using it, and then it works just fine when you slide it onto rolling luggage. But moving on to the shoulder straps here, these are pretty rigid but also malleable. It's kind of odd, like they have some pretty hard padding in there, but you can move it pretty easily, and it kind of conforms to your body, but if you have a smaller frame size, because of how large they are, they can feel a little bit overbearing. We've got another Duraflex buckle here on the sternum strap, and that is on a rail, so you can move it around to get to like exactly where you want it. And there are 3 different sections, so depending on your size and where you like to have your sternum strap kind of rest at, you can put it on which rail you want to have it on. And in any of these rails that you're not using, you could put a carabiner on there or loop something on there, which is a nice inclusion. I like it when there's these sections because you can use these loops for other things should you want to. So as you can see, this is a very large backpack. Even for 31 liters, it feels like it's just really big. I'm just over 6 foot, and you can see that it takes up, most of my torso. And it just kind of feels like there's like a big brick on your back. And it's not an uncomfortable brick, it's just like a very large piece of gear. And something that I've noticed a lot, because I do cycle to work and back every day, is when I look over my shoulder, I can like really see the roll top like poking out. And that's especially true if I have a bunch of gear in here and it's not rolled as much. It's like, I made the joke that you're like Blastoise and you have like a cannon right here and you're like looking over and you're like, it's just kind of in the way. So I guess if you're like walking through a new city and you're constantly kind of looking around, you do notice the backpack. But overall it is very comfortable, but if you have a smaller frame size, you're gonna notice just how big it is because it is such a large pack, and that's especially true when you have a bunch of gear in there and the roll top is a little bit higher. So as far as secondary compartments go, we really just have this small front pocket here. So this is a YKK zipper. It's the only exterior zipper on this pack, and it has an AquaGuard finish. So that adds a little bit more weather resistance to this material that's already very weather resistant. And getting caught in the rain, I think at least 3 occasions going to and from work, the stuff in here never got wet and the stuff on the inside never got wet either. So that's a testament to both this material and that AquaGuard zipper. But this is a pretty small pocket, and I just typically, I don't like having all the things in my pockets when I'm coming to and from work. So I would throw my wallet in here, and sometimes if I had like a pair of pants or shorts with a small pocket on it, I'd put my phone in here too. But it's a pretty small pocket, like you can see where my hand goes to here, and it's not very deep because this material has no give at all. It's very just structured, and there's no stretch to it whatsoever. So if you have a bunch of gear packed into the main compartment, so I have a fair amount in there right now, so it's not really pushing out, but a few times I had this thing completely packed out and it was hard to get things in here because the stuff from the main compartment was pushing up and there just wasn't that, like I said, there's no give, so it was hard to slide stuff in there. So I could just barely fit my wallet in there and I couldn't fit my phone in there. But right now, I could fit my wallet, I could fit my phone, and maybe even a couple other small things inside there. But there's, like you say, you can see where it goes to, but there's just not that depth that gives you that little bit of extra space for gear. And something else I think is important to note about this pocket is it's kind of hard to get to. Like typically when I think quick use, I think that I should kind of be able to like whip it over and get to it. But because this bag is so big, I can't really do that. And if I were to whip it to the other side, I would be able to get to the zipper right here. But that's how I typically do it, is with my right shoulder. So it's not really a quick use pocket so much as it is just a small pocket on the front of the pack. And especially I don't have great like range of motion with this arm. So that's something that I think is important to know. So moving into the main compartment, that's obviously where most of your gear is going to go. We have the roll top there. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of space here that I'm not currently using. And obviously, you don't want to just like have it open at the top, but like you could just roll it once or twice and there's enough strap here to really get around there. So you could, in theory, almost fill it all the way to the top and then just do a roll or two and be okay. But most of the space inside here, it's gonna be hard to show you because this thing is so large. It's just open space. So I stuffed some packing cubes in there so you can get an idea of how much gear I had in there. I would say that's a small to medium sized packing cube, another small to medium, and then I've got a large packing cube there on the bottom. So that's quite a bit of, room that was in this bag, and it was nowhere near full. Like I could have probably fit another set of these, so another large and another 2 small to medium packing cubes, and then I don't know if that would have even filled it up. You can really fit a ton of gear in here. So we had a bunch of pros over to our office here to kind of have like a little event, and I had to clean my desk, and sometimes my desk is very, very dirty, so literally everything from my desk was inside this bag, and I still had some extra room. So you really can fit a ton of gear inside here. So it's gonna be kind of hard to show you this, but you can see there is a small pocket right here. And this pocket kind of hangs like a shirt tag is how I've described it, is it just attaches here and then it's kind of free. And it has a YKK zipper on it, and you can throw small stuff inside of here that you wouldn't necessarily want just swimming in the main compartment. I would say it's about that big, not a huge pocket, but it's nice to have a place to lock down like dongles or headphones or just stuff, like I said, you don't want to get lost in this main compartment because it is so large. And if you have a bunch of stuff in here and one little small thing gets lost, it's gonna be hard to find it digging in the bottom there. But the other thing we have here, as you can see, is there is the laptop sleeve right there. So that one's actually gonna be easier for me to show you. I'm gonna pull my laptop out first. Fits up to a 15-inch laptop. This is a 15-inch MacBook Pro, fit with no problem, but this is removable. So it has 2 hook and loop fasteners, as you can hear probably me ripping off right now. So here is the laptop sleeve that goes on the back side. And it does, as you can see, it's kind of like, it's constantly got a little bit of a curve there just from, I guess, maybe wearing the backpack and different things like that. But it does have a pocket on this front side. You got a YKK zipper again. And then this is a pretty large size pocket here. And there is a little bit of organization inside there. So there are two little liner pockets. So you can slide, you know, whatever you like, dongles or something in there that are smaller, and then you could fit your laptop charger in here. You could even fit like a small notebook or something like that, or even if you wanted like a tablet or a Kindle or something like that too. So there is quite a bit of padding on this laptop case, just, you know, by itself. So you do have padding on both sides, and then obviously with this backpack, you have the padding on the back side that we went over earlier. And I do like the idea of a removable laptop sleeve from the backpack, but there are just a few things that would make me not really want to use this apart from just having it inside the bag. There's obviously no closure here on the top. So if you're like walking around, in theory, especially if you have a smaller laptop, it could come out. Obviously, you know, you can just like carry it like this, but sometimes if you're walking around to like a coffee shop or something like that, you're not really thinking about that. You're kind of taking in what's around you. And something else that I actually had happened to me is, so you have this hook and loop fastener here, and this is the rough part. So depending on what you're wearing, like I like to wear soccer jerseys and stuff like that, like this is going to snag that up. So especially if you were carrying it like this, which you probably would because this is like the exterior and you have the little decorative tab here, you'd carry it like this and it would snag up the shirt you're wearing. And there are other materials that it would snag up as well. Some furniture and stuff like that too. So having the removable option is nice, but there are a few things that make me not really want to use it, but it is nice in a fix to be able to just take your laptop out and not have to bring your whole, you know, 31-liter backpack with you to the coffee shop. You can just bring this guy. So there you have it, the GOT Bag Roll Top. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.